Hola, hola. Hola, hola. Hola, hola, Coca-Cola. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Muy buenas tardes. Muy buenas tardes. We'll get going in about 30 seconds. Sorry about the 3-minute delay there. I was in the other Zoom lesson for the office hours and chatting with a student, and we lost track of time. We're very engaged. So I apologize for that. No worries. We'll get started very quickly. I've got the camera rolling. This is a recorded session. I just want to remind you because I want you to have the opportunity to look back on these lessons and review any of the information I give you, re-listen to an explanation. If it's something difficult, you can watch over and over again. Let's see here. Computer, different name. Okay, yes. I see a different name. Can you type in who you are then that just sent me that message as far as the different computer goes, just so I can associate. Oh, thank you very much. And then I could, when I take roll, I can make sure that it's correct. Okay. And beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah, I do see it's you. Okay. All right. Well, let's get going. I don't know how many people will be chiming in tonight. Our numbers seem to shift every week. But as we get started, I'm going to just go ahead and share the screen with you. We'll try to use a lot of Spanish this evening. Español, vamos a practicar mucho. Excelente. Okay. We'll get this. I use my dual screen here as I always like to so I can see everybody. Those that have their cameras on. I have my chat window in case you need to type in anything at any point. I could see that. All right. And my participants, those that'll chime in late, we got goes that going too, and I can just zoom them in. Okay. Beautiful. Before we begin formally with Módulo ocho, Capítulo tres, there are a couple reminders that I need to remind you about. One, we still have one full 24 hours to do the assessment. Some of you are doing the assessment and or have done the assessment, and you're not going to be able to see the results until the due date. So by tomorrow night, when at midnight, when the window closes, you should be able to go ahead and see your results. And what I do, there are three specific sections on the test that require me to look at and give feedback or tell you if it's right or wrong sentence structures. There's sentences that you type in. One example would be the very last task. You wrote a paragraph. Now, what I do with that paragraph is I take your paragraph, I cut and paste it into my comments. So when you go into that assignment, somewhere on the page, you should be able to access my comments and you can respond to me as well. We can interact through Connect. So I take your paragraph, I cut and paste it below into the comments, and then I type in parentheses the corrected error. So if you have an error right after the error, I'll type in what it should be. So if you have any questions about that, then please let me know. We can do a one-on-one Zoom. We can go to clarify that. But I want you to make sure that you have uh, quality feedback with your sentence structures and what you're doing. Some errors might be very simple, a spelling error or typo. Some might be a little bit more grammatically profound that I need to explain. So either way, I want you to access that. So this weekend, take a look. The window will be closed. You should be able to look at your test and try to find somewhere on the screen a comment. I'm not sure what the student view looks like, but you should be able to access my comments through Connect, not through Canvas. It's through. So if you go through Canvas to go back into the lesson and your Connect account opens up, you should be able to access that. Now, if you don't, email me and I have to reformat something to give you access, but you should be able to. Okay, perfecto. ¿Cómo están todos esta noche? ¿Bien? ¿Estamos bien? ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Cómo están todos? Hoy tenemos una introducción al capítulo 3. Oh, y una cosa más, capítulo 3. I'm going to forget to say this as well, so I'll say it now. Next week is technically spring break. So I don't know if you've looked at Canvas already, but if you take a look at, and I'm going to open up Canvas on my end right here, we're in module 8 or going into module 8. So module 8, technically how the calendar works is Friday, everything closes. Saturday starts a new academic week for our class, but we have class on Thursday. So I always like to teach the material for the following week. What you learned last week in class, you still have a day to finish that by tomorrow. So we're still technically in module 7 if you want to get literal. So we're in module 7. You have an assessment, chapter 2, and connect. You have one tiny vocabulary task to do in connect called las actividades en familia, which we'll learn about today. And that's it. There's no discussion board to worry about. I wanted you to focus on the test. Now, next week, you can already see posted, it says spring break because American River College is officially on spring break. Even though a lot of school districts don't have spring break until the end of March, American River College is taking next week as a break. So we will not have class next Thursday. I can't legally, I can't have class next Thursday. Here's the good news though. I'm still during the day teaching some classes in another district that's not on spring break. So I'm still active online. So if you have any questions next week about anything we've done, we can go one-on-one meetings and I can explain it to you. So we, even though we're not going to have a class, I can still meet with you. So you let me know and we can make that happen. Two, if you notice also in Canvas, I've posted module 8. Now, since next week is technically spring break, the material is not due next week. It's actually due the following week. So if you take a look, all the due dates are set for March 22nd. So the material we go over right now is for March 22nd. So not only do you have next week to rest, but you also have next week to get a jump on the following week. So it's 2 weeks essentially. And I want you to take next week to kind of recycle things that you've learned in the past, recycle other lessons. You have access to all the recorded lessons. So go back to anything specific. You have access to any additional material that I include in each module, supplemental videos, extra explanation. Like, for example, tonight we're going to go over possession, time. I also have a supplemental lesson about that with more examples, different examples that is in the welcome message inside week module 8. So if you click on module 8 welcome message, there's an embedded video in there that's about 40 minutes long, but I go through a lot more examples of what I'm talking about tonight. So you got 2 weeks to take a look at all this really cool material to help you progress positively. Okay, perfecto. All right. Vamos a empezar. Preguntas. ¿Hay algunas preguntas? Questions, preguntas. Any questions, preguntas? No, no hay preguntas. Okay. ¿Cómo están hoy? ¿Cómo estás hoy? ¿Cómo estás? Amanda, ¿cómo estás hoy?
Así, así. ¿Y tú?
Oh, bien, estoy muy bien. Estoy un poco cansado. Esta semana es una semana muy larga, mucho trabajo, pero estoy bien, estoy bien. Carter, ¿cómo estás tú?
Estoy muy bien. Mm,
Excelente,
ya.
excelente. ¿Y tienes mucho trabajo, Carter? ¿Tienes tú mucho trabajo?
Sí, tengo mucho trabajo.
Ya. Ujú, yo también tengo mucho trabajo. Andrés, ¿cómo estás
Ya.
tú?
Estoy cansado.
Cansado, muy bien, cansado. Am, ¿Qué hora es? ¿Son las 7? Oh, that's what we're going to talk about today. Beautiful. La hora. We're going to dive right in there. Son las 6:14, and we'll talk about that. 6:14. Muy bien. Excelente. Algunas preguntas. Any questions about last week, what we explained? I know some of you haven't done the test yet. So, any last minute questions about anything that you don't understand or want me to review again briefly? We won't take too long. Okay. No. If you have anything, ya, Marisa, yo también estoy un poco cansado y ocupado. If you have any questions that you want to type into the chat at any time, I'm monitoring that as we go. Okay. All right. Muy bien. Excelente. Perfecto, perfecto. Diccionario personal. Hoy vamos a hablar de la familia, la familia, la familia. Vamos a salir de aquí. Stop sharing that. Start sharing this. Excelente. La familia. Vamos a ver los miembros de la familia. Ustedes tienen acceso a estas fotos. You have access to these photos in your current module. It's under module 8 called Vocabulario La Familia. So you can click on these just like I'm clicking on these, okay? Primero, clase, repitan por favor. Padre. Padre.
Padre.
Muy bien, padre. David es mi padre. This is me right here. Soy yo. This is me. When you say soy yo, it's like saying, this is me. Soy yo. This is me. I am I. This is me. Soy yo. David es mi padre. Ok. ¿Cómo se llama mi madre? ¿Cómo se llama mi madre? Sofía. David es mi padre. Sofía es mi madre. Now we're also going to look at possession. Mi madre. Mi padre. Notice how it's spelled with an I and not M-E. I'm not saying me like me gusta. I'm saying me. Remember, all the vowels don't change sound. So a, e, I, o, u. A lot of times when we hear me, we think of me, but that's me. So try not to get those confused. Mi padre es David. Mi padre es David. David es mi padre. Mi madre se llama. Ok, clase, repitan. Hijo.
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 Perfecto. Hijo, hijo. Romeo. Es un nombre bonito. Romeo es mi hijo.
Es mi
Muy, muy bien. Romeo es mi hijo. Now, if we can see a look at the árbol genealógico, the family tree, we're trying to relate everything to the smiley face, yo. So logically, Romeo would be my hijo, okay? Clase, hija, Francisca es mi hija, Francisca.
Hija.
Francisca es mi hija.
Ok, gracias por pronunciar la frase entera. Francisca es mi hija. Yo tengo un amigo. Mi amigo tiene una hija que se llama Francisca Libertad. That's her name. My friend's daughter's name is Francisca Libertad. It's such a beautiful, it's kind of an old school name. Okay, muy bien, excelente. Okay, Bianca. Bianca es mi hermana. Clase, repitan. Bianca es mi hermana.
Bianca es mi hermana.
Excelente. Es mi hermana. Bianca es mi hermana. Mateo. Clase, repitan. Mateo es mi hermano.
Mateo es mi hermano.
Muy bien. Mateo es mi hermano. Siguiente. Marcos. Marcos. Marcos, ok, mi padre, el hermano de mi padre. Marcos es mi primo. Clase, repitan, primo.
Primo.
A ver, ¿cómo, Chris P., cómo se dice primo en inglés?
Cousin.
Cousin, excelente, excelente, cousin, muy bien, muy bien. Julia es mi prima. Clase, repitan, Julia es mi prima.
Julia es mi
Es mi
prima.
prima.
Es mi prima. Julia es mi prima. Muy bien, excelente. Ok, siguiente. Ok, Ian. Ok, Ian es mi tío. Excelente. Clase, repiten. Ian es mi tío.
Ian es mi
Ian
tío.
es mi tío.
Excelente. Ian es mi tío, mi tío. Excelente. Elena es mi tía. Elena es mi tía. Repiten, clase. Elena es mi tía.
Elena es mi tía.
Excelente. Muy bien. Ok. Abuelo. Padre, padre. Oh, abuelo. Clase. José es mi abuelo.
José es mi
José
abuelo.
es mi abuelo.
Muy bien, clase. Excelente. José es mi abuelo. Abuela. Clase, repiten. Viola es mi abuela.
Viola
Viola
es mi abuela.
Excelente. Viola es mi abuela. Muy bien. Yo soy su nieto. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés, Haley? Yo soy su nieto. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés?
Your grandson.
Okay, so I am their grandson. Su, in this case, would be their grandson. Possession, their grandson. Excelente. Muy bien, Marisa. Grandson. Okay, perfecto. Carlos, yo soy, clase, repitan. Yo soy su sobrino.
Yo soy
Yo
Soy
soy
su
su
sobrino.
sobrino.
Muy bien. Sobrino es el hijo de mi. Yo soy yo soy, Carlos es mi tío. Yo soy su sobrino. So if Carlos is my uncle, I am his
nephew.
nephew. Excelente. Sobrino. Muy bien, muy bien. Perfecto. Sergio. Sergio es mi suegro. Okay. So this person, there's no name to it, is married to me. See the dots? We got a little marriage going on. Sergio es mi suegro. Excelente. Suegro. Anybody want to take a guess what Shannon? ¿Qué es suegro?
I think it's father-in-law.
Yes, father-in-law. Excelente. Suegro would be father-in-law. Muy bien. Es mi suegro. Sergio es mi suegro. Okay. Darío. Darío es mi cuñado. So let me see here. The connection is, okay, my wife on this side, because I'm changing up the árbol a little bit to make sure these match. My wife, their parents, oh, brother, my wife's brother. So cuñado es
Brother-in-law.
brother-in-law. Excelente. Clase, repitan. Darío es mi cuñado.
Dario es mi cuñado.
Perfecto. Darío es mi cuñado. Muy bien. Okay. So my yerno. So let's see here. Let's say my daughter in this case is married to Alejandro. So Alejandro is my son-in-law. Yerno. Clase, repitan. Yerno.
Yerno.
Yerno. Excelente. Alejandro es mi yerno. That's a curious word, right? Yerno. Okay. And daughter-in-law would be nuera. Nuera. Two different words. Yerno, nuera. Clase, repitan. Nuera.
Nuera.
Okay. As we go into the next slide, all of these are very similar as far as gender and number. You have hijo, hija, son, daughter, hermano, hermana, brother, sister, tío, tía, uncle, aunt, abuelo, abuela, suegro, suegra, cuñado, cuñada. All of them have the same word, but with the ending depending on the gender. But we got a couple tricky ones. The tricky ones are going to be yerno and nuera. I mean, even nieto and sobrino is nieta and sobrina. They're just not on there, but they're the same. Nieto, nieta, sobrino, sobrina. It's yerno and nuera that are the tricky ones, the son-in-law and the daughter-in-law. Okay, excelente. These you can review as many times as you'd like. Muy bien. Padre, madre, hijo, hija, yerno, etcétera, etcétera, etcétera. Ok, perfecto. Vamos a seguir con la lección. Así que tenemos otra familia, una familia, otra familia. Los padres, el padre, la madre, los padres. Padres, parents. Madre, padre, padres. Now, obviously, this is a very traditional setup. There are many different types of family types out there, but we're drawing this directly from the book. Casados, this ring will signify casados. Omar y Marcela son los padres de Maritza y Carlos. Maritza y Carlos son hermanos. Así que padres, hermanos. Hijos would be children. Hijos, la hija, el hijo. So we have hijos, children, padres, parents, hermanos, siblings. Excelente, muy bien, muy bien. La familia entera, la familia grande. Abuelos, grandparents. So abuelo, abuela, abuelos. Tío, tía, tíos. Aunt, uncle, aunt and uncle. We don't have Aunts, uncles. They're still separate in English, right? Padre, madre, padres, parents. Sobrino, sobrina, sobrinos. So notice how the masculine male form kind of creates the grandchildren, grandparents, spouses, parents, etc., nephews and nieces. Hijos, hijo, hija, hijos. So right here, we got all of them listed here. Question: are there any other instances where the masculine and feminine don't match? And I'm assuming we're referring to nuera and yerno as your primary example that I brought up. Let's see here. We've got hermanastro, hermanastra. That would be stepsister, stepbrother. Padrino, madrina would be godmother, godparent, very similar like madre, padre. But to have complete radical ones like yerno and nuera, I'm trying to think of all the family members. Bisnieto, nieto, abuelo, tío. No, I can't think of anything outright. Cuñado, cuñada. No, I think those are the only two that stand out because I'm going through all the family tree in my brain. Sobrino, primo, hijo, tío, abuelo, bisabuelo, which is great grandparent. No, they're all the same. It's yerno and nuera that are the rogue words. Very good question. Yeah, I'm curious as well. I'm curious why they don't match. Yeah, we're gonna blame the Romans on that one for evolving Latin into Spanish. Find out why they chose to do that one, right? Okay, excelente. Perfecto. La familia. Okay, una pequeña actividad. En el chat, ustedes escriben cierto o falso. Ustedes escriben cierto o falso. Por ejemplo, número 1, la esposa de Leonardo se llama Liliana. Ok, ¿dónde está Leonardo? Ok, aquí está Liliana. Leonardo, la esposa de Leonardo se llama Liliana. ¿Cierto o falso? Ok, Chris, muy bien, excelente, excelente. Ok, muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. Excelente, cierto. La esposa de Leonardo se llama Liliana. Excelente, muy bien, ok. Número 2, cierto o falso, cierto o falso. Eduardo y Nancy tienen 4 hijos. 3 hijos y una hija. 3 chicos y una chica. Okay, okay. Pay attention to the details. 3 hijos y una hija. 3 hijos y una hija. Look at this top row right here. Which ones are the children? Okay, excelente. Shannon, Marisa, Carter. Falso, falso, falso. Es falso, porque Sergio, Armando son chicos, 2 chicos. Liliana, Verónica, 2 chicas. 4 hijos, correcto, pero no 3 hijos. 2 hijos, 2 hijas. Ok, muy bien, excelente. 2 hijos, 2 hijas. Vamos a la siguiente. Natalia es hermana de Sergio. Natalia es hermana de Sergio. Ok. A ver, cierto, falso, cierto, falso, cierto, falso. Ok, ok. Shannon, Winter, Amanda, Sedita, Haley. Ok, ok, ok. Todos dicen falso. Correcto, clase. Es falso. Natalia es la esposa, no la hermana. Natalia es la esposa, no la hermana. Ok, siguiente. Armando es soltero, no casado. Casado, no casado, soltero. Pero su hermano Sergio es casado. Su hermano Sergio es casado. Armando, ok. A ver, ¿cuál es la respuesta? Armando es soltero, pero su hermano Sergio es casado. ¿Cierto o falso? ¿Cierto o falso? Oh, I got some mixed answers on this one. Armando es soltero, pero su hermano Sergio es casado. Ok. Armando es soltero y su hermano Sergio es casado. And I probably should have highlighted Sergio because he's mentioned in the number, but that is a true statement. Armando is single. There's no attached wife. Soltero. Pero su hermano Sergio es casado. He's a married man to Natalia. Okay, excelente. Yeah, casado equals married. Correcto. Excelente, casado. And it's interesting because the difference between ser and estar, you can use both. For example, if I were to say my marital status, I am married, I could say estoy casado. But if I wanted to identify as a married man, like part of my being, like I'm a man, I'm young, I'm tall, I'm married, and it's part of my description, I can say soy. So all of these answers are using es. Sergio es casado, but it's not incorrect to say está casado. You can say estoy casado. My legal status is married. Estoy casado. So just fun fact on that one. All right, muy bien, excelente. All right, so that's número. Okay, excelente. Vamos al siguiente. Juliana y Adrián son idénticos porque son hermanos gemelos. Gemelos. Anybody know what that is? Gemelos. Hermanos gemelos. Hermanos gemelos. Okay. ¿Cierto o falso? Julián y Adrián son idénticos. They're identical. ¿Por qué son hermanos gemelos? Because they are twin brothers. Hermanos gemelos. Yes, Haley. Excelente. Twins. Hermanos gemelos. ¿Cierto o falso? Ok, Chris. Excelente. Excelente, excelente. Sí, la respuesta, Carter, muy bien, excelente. Andrés, muy bien. Amanda, excelente. Perfecto. Sí, es falso. Adrián y Juliana no son gemelos. Adrián y Martín. Adrián y Martín son gemelos. Sí, excelente. Muy bien. Vamos a la siguiente. La siguiente, número 6 o 7, no sé cuál es. Verónica y Armando son tíos. Tienen 5 sobrinos. Remember what tíos and sobrinos were? Verónica y Armando son tíos. Tienen 5. Tienen 5 sobrinos. Oh, cierto, Celia. All of them are saying cierto. Good. Now we didn't pick the members that had kids. These are the single ones. So yes, they have 5 nieces and nephews. Excelente. Armando y Verónica son tíos. They are aunt and uncles. Tienen 5 sobrinos. They have 5 nieces and nephews. Excelente. Muy bien, muy bien. Muy buena práctica. Muy buena práctica. Ok. Siguiente. Here we go. Nancy tiene 5 nietos en total. Nancy tiene 5 nietos en total. 2 nietos y 3 nietas. 2 nietos y 3 nietas. ¿Cierto o falso? ¿Cierto o falso? Okay, Carter, Haley, Sedita, Chris, Shannon, Amanda, Winter. Perfecto, excelente. Sí, es cierto. Nancy es la abuela y Nancy tiene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nietos. 2 nietos, 3 nietas, chicos, chicas. Excelente, muy bien, muy bien. Ok, siguiente. Juliana no tiene primas. Juliana no tiene primas. ¿Dónde está Juliana? No Liliana, Juliana. Juliana no tiene primas. ¿Falso o cierto? Falso o cierto. Ok, ok. Ok, sí, falso. Chris, muy bien, sí. Tiene dos. Ella tiene dos primas. Sí, uno, dos. Uno, dos. Juliana tiene dos primas. Muy bien, excelente, excelente. Vamos a la siguiente. Sergio y Natalia son los padres de Camila y Antonella. Son los padres de Camila y Antonella. Ok, perfecto. Es cierto, correcto. Son los padres de Camila y Antonella. Excelente, de Camila y Antonella. Ok, uno más, uno más, uno más. Los abuelos de Martín y Adrián se llaman Eduardo y Natalia. Los abuelos de Martín y Adrián se llaman Eduardo y Natalia. Ok, falso, muy bien. Falso, 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 falso. Falso, falso, falso. Perfecto, clase, perfecto. Los abuelos se llaman Eduardo y Nancy, no Martín, perdón, no Eduardo y Natalia. Eduardo y Natalia. Tenemos Eduardo. ¿Dónde está Eduardo? Eduardo y Nancy. Natalia, ¿dónde está? Natalia es la esposa de Sergio. Natalia es la esposa de Sergio. Ok, excelente. Aplauso para todos, aplauso para todos. Yo tengo una pregunta. Yo tengo una pregunta, ¿ok? Mi pregunta es, ¿cómo se llaman las nietas de Eduardo Piatelli Montes? ¿Cómo se llaman? Y vamos a escribir una frase completa. Escribimos una frase completa. ¿Cómo se llaman los o las nietas? No los nietos, las nietas. ¿Cómo se llaman? ¿Cómo se llaman? Ok. Sedita, sí, tienen tres, correcto, pero ¿cómo se llaman? Sus nombres. Ok, Haley, ok, muy bien. Ok, Haley, gracias, pero solamente las nietas, no los nietos, solamente las nietas. Muy bien, Amanda, excelente. Muy bien, excelente, Haley, excelente. Excelente, muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. ¿Otros voluntarios? Muy bien, Marisa, muy bien, excelente, perfecto. Ok, muy bien, excelente, excelente. Se llaman, una frase completa tenemos aquí. Oh, shoot, lo siento, lo siento. Ella tiene dos, whoops, I jumped the gun on that. Sorry. Las nietas de Eduardo, back to the very beginning. I have to cut that one out, right? Gave you all the answers. Las nietas de Eduardo se llaman Camila, Antonella, y Juliana. So technically, if I were to create a complete sentence, what are the names of the granddaughters of Eduardo? I would say the granddaughters of Eduardo are called Camila, Antonella, and Juliana. Notice how I said the granddaughters of Eduardo? That's kind of a foreshadow of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about possession. In English, I would say Eduardo's granddaughters, apostrophe S, Eduardo's granddaughters. But we're actually saying the granddaughters of Eduardo. The structure is very different in Spanish. There is no apostrophe S. Okay. Siguiente. Sorry, jumped the gun on that one. ¿Cuántos hermanos tiene Juliana? ¿Cuántos hermanos tiene Juliana? ¿Cuántos hermanos tiene Juliana? A ver, muy bien, Amanda. Una respuesta correcta. Shannon, excelente. Carter, excelente. Sadira, excelente. Chris, excelente. Ariane, excelente. Perfecto, perfecto. Sí, tiene dos. Ella tiene dos hermanos, Martín y Adrián. Se llaman Martín y Adrián. Ok, excelente. Uno más. Vamos con uno más. ¿Cómo se llaman las tías de Martín, Adrián y Juliana? ¿Cómo se llaman las tías de Martín, Adrián y Juliana? ¿Cómo se llaman las tías de Martín, Adrián y Juliana? ¿Cómo se llaman? ¿Cómo se llaman? Ok, excelente. Muy bien, Ariana. Muy bien, Sarita. Ok, ok, ok. Muy bien, Shannon. Perfecto. Sí, se llaman las tías. Muy bien. Las tías se llaman Natalia y Verónica. Las tías de Martín, Adrián, son, if we're going to say two of them, Carter will say son Natalia y Verónica. Son Natalia y Verónica. O se llaman Natalia y Verónica. Excelente. Muy bien. Ok. Vamos a hacer una actividad. How many people do we have here today? I want to do just a transitional activity to get you guys chat with each other. So I see all of your cameras on, except for Tiana, Marisa, Haley, Sahar, Mariel, and Mia, which is fine. Cameras are optional. But I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. So if you're there, hopefully we can engage appropriately. Some are less inclined to engage more than others. So hopefully we can get a lot of energy on this one. Here's what we're going to do. Okay. Tengo un párrafo aquí. It's your task to take one of these siblings now or one of these members of the family and now create a paragraph. So you're going to say, S me, and you're going to actually, if you have the capability of doing this, I want you to take 30 seconds, grab your phone, and pull up somebody on your phone. Like I would say, like this right here. Es mi esposa. Es mi esposa. Okay. Es mi esposa, my wife. Se llama Inés. So I have it right that I could show my class members. Es mi esposa. Se llama Inés. Se llama Inés. Tiene 46 años. Ella es baja, delgada y muy guapa. Ella tiene el pelo negro y rizado. She has curly black hair, pelo negro y rizado. Tiene los ojos marrones. Ella es trabajadora, inteligente y muy simpática. She's very nice, muy simpática. No es perezosa. She's not lazy. No es perezosa. En esta foto, en esta foto, en esta foto, en esta foto lleva una camiseta rosada. She's wearing a pink t-shirt. Sin mangas. They don't have sleeves. So sin mangas. Okay. Ella lleva una camiseta rosada. Le gusta leer, le gusta escuchar música y le gusta trabajar. A ella no le gusta, a ella no le gusta jugar básquetbol. Okay, actually, she does like to play basketball. A ella no le gusta jugar al golf. She doesn't like to play golf. Okay, excelente. Muy bien, muy bien. I want you to take a random picture on your phone if you haven't done so already. Make it up if you have to. It doesn't have to be real. It could be fiction of somebody. And you're going to show your group members and you're going to try to fill in the blanks to the best of your ability. Okay. This is my wife. Her name is Inez. She's 44. She's short and beautiful. She has brown hair, et cetera, et cetera. And go through the same type of structure. Now, what I have done was I've created this individual slide for you that I'm going to share with you in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this. And I'm going to go into my our drive. Give me about 2 seconds here to find it. I should have had it already up. Class materials. Okay, and then fill in the blank lesson 8. I'm going to go ahead and grab the link to that Google slide, just an individual Google slide. And you're going to go ahead and open it up on your computer if you have the capability to, so you can use that pattern. You're going to be able to fill in the blank. The sentence is already done for you. You just have to put in descriptions. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and send this to everybody. Okay. Go ahead and open up that Google slide there. And you'll be able to see that you have that individual activity that starts out with es mi, and pick mi prima, mi hermana, mi esposa. You can say my dog even. Es mi perro. Maybe it's a picture of your dog. That's okay. Es mi perro. Se llama Fluffy. Tiene 2 años. I mean, you could totally do that. Okay. Let's take about 20 seconds to kind of get prepared. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. Okay. The breakout rooms are going to be, we have 15 total participants. I'm going to go ahead and put you in 4 rooms. That gives us 3 to 4 people per room. And if you are not with us right now because your camera's off and you're disengaged, hopefully you'll come into it in the moment and show us your wonderful picture. You'd have to turn on your camera to do that. All right. Now, if you're in a group where somebody's not engaging, that's fine. The 2 people or 3 people that are there that are engaging, just let's work with what we got. Okay. Perfecto. All right. All right. I'm going to try to pop into groups as we go. It should take a little bit because each person's going to have to go through their paragraph with the description. Hopefully we can do it in the moment. Okay. Let's see here. I'm about to drive my daughter to. Am I able to? Yeah, that's fine. If for whatever reason you can't, keep your camera off and just maybe type a quick message saying, hey, I'm not able to participate because of X reason. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Totally okay with that. I can't, or just don't join the breakout. I think you can stay out of a breakout room. You don't have to click enter. Okay, so we'll do it like that. All right, muy bien. Perfecto. Here we go. Buena suerte. Good luck. Yeah, no worries. No worries on the 2 people that chimed in. Let me go ahead and yeah, that's fine. You don't have to hop in the room then. I will change somebody then. Let's move to room 4. Okay, there we go. Now we've broken it up to where I can have at least 2 people engaging. Here we go. All right, so you just hang out. I'll be right back. Okay, we're coming back in here slowly but surely. Okay, excelente. Muy bien, muy bien. I'm going to pause the recording while we wait for. Vamos a seguir con la lección el día de hoy. Okay. Yeah. Usually when we have breakout rooms, people sometimes will get done early and they'll just, be very patient to get back. Some people will be right in the middle of talking and you get cut off because you get brought back in. So I apologize either way for the little chaotic moment there. Ok, muy bien, excelente. Vamos a continuar el día de hoy. Ok, vamos a compartir mi pantalla otra vez. Compartir. Excelente. Slideshow. Muy bien. Let's get you back over here. Set up my second screen. Excelente. Just takes a little bit of time to set up after we're done. We don't have any more breakout rooms today, though. But we have a lot to discuss. Ok, perfecto. Un ejemplo. Yo quiero enseñarle, quiero mostrarles un ejemplo. I want to show you un ejemplo. Ok, perfecto. Soy yo, Grant Adams, y mi hermano. Es mi hermano gemelo. ¿Cómo se dice gemelo en inglés? Gemelo. Un hermano idéntico.
Twins.
Anybody know? What's
Twins.
say that again? A little louder.
Twins.
Twins, yes. Yo soy gemelo. Él es mi hermano gemelo. Mi hermano gemelo se llama Dana. Yes, I do crack jokes because a lot more women have the name Dana than men do, but his name is Dana. Mi hermano gemelo se llama Dana y Dana tiene 50 años. Yo también tengo 50 años. Okay. ¿Cómo es Dana? ¿Cómo es Dana? Oh, Dana es joven y guapo, ¿no? Dana tiene el pelo. ¿Qué color es el pelo? Castaño y corto. Castaño y corto, como yo. Tiene los ojos. That's good. I like your comment, Amanda. How much you guys looked alike. Yeah, we do. We do look awfully alike. Technically identical to. If I wore a baseball hat, I'd look more similar. Tiene los ojos azules. Su personalidad. Él es trabajador. Él es generoso. Y él es simpático. Él es muy simpático. No es perezoso. En esta foto, él lleva una gorra. Esta es una gorra. Lleva una gorra y una chaqueta. Lleva una chaqueta y una gorra. Le gusta ver películas, le gusta leer y le gusta jugar al disc golf. No le gusta dibujar. No somos artísticos. A mí no me gusta dibujar tampoco. No somos artísticos. Muy bien, clase, excelente. In your breakout rooms, I wasn't able to get to everybody, but the little descriptions that I was hearing throughout were very good. I appreciate your participative effort. Okay, vamos a hablar de la posesión. The simplest way that we show possession is just like English. I have a brother. I have a phone. I have a pen. It's the simplest thing. If we look back in lesson 5, lección 5, here's the date on that. It's in Canvas. That is a reference to the verb tener. You can go back to that lesson and look at all the conjugations of tener and an explanation of said verb. And we've learned this. Tengo calor, tengo frío, tengo 16 años, tengo ganas de ir. I am excited to go. Tengo ganas de ir. Tengo que estudiar. I have to study. Verb connecting to another verb. But in its possessive form, traditional possessive form, tengo un libro, tengo un gato, tengo una hermana. Profesor Sotomayor, ¿tiene usted un automóvil nuevo? Sir, do you have a new car? Sí, tengo un Prius verde. Yes, I have a green Prius. So have, ¿qué tienes? Yo tengo. Just like English. Fácil, ¿no? Okay. Número dos. Oh, before we get to número dos, vamos a practicar rápido. Practicamos. D means say. ¿Qué tienen estas cosas? Estas personas, excuse me. Say what these people have. ¿Qué tienen estas personas? Mi esposo y yo blank un coche. Which of these 6 conjugations would work? Mi esposa y yo blank un coche viejo. Sí, muy bien. Tenemos. Perfecto. Okay. Possession. We have in our possession a car. Camila blank una falda blanca muy bonita. Ok, perfecto. Qué rápido, clase. Muy bien. Tiene, muy bien. Claudia, tú no blank hermanos, ¿verdad?
Are you supposed to be
Claudia,
showering right now?
tú no, tú no blank hermanos, ¿verdad?
Go back to your-
Excelente, excelente. Vamos, Claudia, tú no tienes hermanos, ¿verdad? Tienes. Good job. Excelente clase. Tienes. Yo. Muy bien, excelente. Yo tengo, muy bien, yo tengo muchos amigos generosos. Muy bien. Claudia, Eloy y Claudia no. Muy bien, no tienen hijos, ¿verdad? Excelente. Número 4, no tengo muchos amigos generosos. Vamos a ver. Ariana, ¿cómo se dice amigos generosos en inglés? Ariana, ¿cómo se dice número 4 en inglés? Yo tengo muchos amigos generosos.
I have many.
What does that generosos mean? What can we guess on that one?
What?
Kind of looks like English.
Generous?
How would you say that again?
Generous friends?
Yes, excelente. I have many generous friends. Sometimes words that we might not have seen before are similar to English. They're cognates. Generoso, generous. It kind of has that feel to it, right? Muy bien, excelente. Yeah, Carter, Amanda, excelente. Muy bien. Okay. Parte número dos. Okay, possession. Parte número dos. Okay. The verb ser followed by a preposition de shows possession. It's equivalent to English with the apostrophe S. We don't have that in Espanol. So Miguel's new car would be the car of Miguel, the new car of Miguel. El carro nuevo de Miguel. So if I were to say, whose pen is this? And I'll use the word bolígrafo. There's many ways to say pen, but bolígrafo. I would say, ¿de quién es el bolígrafo? Just like this question here. ¿De quién es el cuaderno? To whom does this notebook belong? Now, I know that you're reading that in English. To whom does the notebook belong? We really don't talk like that often, do we? Say, whose notebook is this? Whose notebook is this? I think that's more of a common way we hear it, but it's possession in Spanish. ¿De quién es? Of whom is the workbook? Of whom is the notebook? It's Claudia's. It's Claudia's, apostrophe S. Es de Claudia. Juan's friends, los amigos de Juan. So you can see this little graph here. Maria's father, Maria's at the end, father's at the beginning, and there's a de right in the middle. It's just crisscross applesauce. Maria's father, el padre de Maria, and we have to have the article. El padre de María, la madre de María, el bolígrafo de María, el teléfono de María, los lentes de Adams. See how that works? Los lentes de Adams. Now, when we have a word that requires the, like the teacher, the professor, then often with de and el, it combines to meet del. For example, if I said, Whose is this? Whose sweater is this? I can say it's David's. Es de David. Es de David. But if I say it's the teacher's, it's the professor's. Es de el profesor. De el del. Es del profesor. Now, if it were a female teacher, de la doesn't combine. Es de la profesora. The other ones down at the bottom show you that. Los ojos de la niña, the eyes of the girl, little girl, the girl's eyes. Los ojos de la niña son bonitas. So whenever we have the girls, the teachers, the boys, it's going to be the object of that person. Los ojos de la niña. Los libros de los estudiantes. Okay? Necesitamos practicar. This is very important that we practice this. Okay. Eloy sombrero. So Eloy's sombrero. Clase, I'm going to type this in the chat. ¿Es correcto? Okay, let's see here. Eloy's. A ver, Eloy's. ¿Cómo se escribe? Eloy's sombrero. Oh, yeah, excelente. Perfecto. No. No, 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 no. Eloy's sombrero, no. El sombrero es de Eloy. Now, I can say el sombrero de Eloy, that would by itself would be Eloy's sombrero. But what we're doing is we're adding another element into this. We're saying the hat is Eloy's. So the hat is Eloy's. The hat is, and we're using is. The hat is Eloy's. El sombrero es de Eloy. So the basic example, Eloy's hat turns into the hat is Eloy's. It's his hat. El sombrero es de Eloy. So, número uno, por ejemplo, Franklin en carro. Franklin. Now, typically the basic sentence is el carro de Franklin, but I want to add that extra element. The car is Franklin's. So el carro es de Franklin. That's kind of the extra element we want to do on this. But could I say el carro de Franklin and leave it at that? Like, hey, whose car is that? Oh, es el carro de Franklin. It is Franklin's car. So instead of saying es el carro de Franklin, we're saying el carro es de Franklin. All the elements are there. So es el carro de Franklin, it's just about semantics on this one, is equal to el carro es de Franklin. So I've got two sentences there. It's Franklin's car. The car is Franklin's. That's what that is. It's Franklin's car. The car is Franklin's. It's exactly what I'm doing there. So el carro es de Franklin. Número dos. ¿Cuál es número dos? The blouse is Marcela's. ¿Cómo se dice? The blouse is Marcela's. La blusa es. Ok, muy bien, Shannon. Perfecto, perfecto. Otro. Ok, muy bien, excelente, Amanda. Otra persona, una persona más. Muy bien, Carter. Excelente. Así que perfecto. La blusa es de Marcela. Número 3. A ver, número 3. A little tricky. We have perros. Okay, Shannon, muy bien. But that verb es needs a little tweaking. Marisa, you too. Good. Excelente, Haley. Chris. Okay. We caught on. Excelente. Perfecto. Los perros son. If I were to say, hey, whose are those dogs? I would use son instead of es. Instead of de quién es el perro. Look at the title up here. De quién son estas cosas? If I were to replace these things with dogs, it would be the same. De quién son los perros? Los perros son de Eloy. Muy bien, clase. Excelente. 4. Vamos a ver 4. 4. Xiomara. And then lentes. Es plural, clase. Vamos a ver, plural. Los lentes son, excelente. Los lentes son de Xiomara. Perfectos. Los lentes son de Xiomara. Número 5, Rodrigo y Saco. Rodrigo y Saco. Saco is a bag. Ok. Ok, perfecto, clase. Muy bien, qué rápido. Yes, Haley, it's correct. El saco de Rodrigo is correct. So either say es el saco de Rodrigo or el saco es de Rodrigo. It's equivalent to saying it is Rodrigo's bag or the bag is Rodrigo's. Either way, it's valid. A ver, número 6. Número 6, Carlito y Maritza. Oh, bicicleta, a little bit difficult. Las bicicletas son de. Okay, muy bien, Amanda. Muy bien, Shannon. Oh, careful, Shannon, on that verb. Ooh, threw you for a curve on that one. Now, this was son de, but I could say this. Whose are those kids? No, you can't use somos. Yeah, because we would, if you said somos, we'd have to belong to somebody. Like my brother and I belong to my dad. Somos de mi padre, but that we wouldn't really say it like that. That sounds too much of possession. We would just say we are my dad's. We could say somos los hijos de mi padre. So you can still do that. Somos los hijos. We'd throw that in there. De mi padre, meaning we are my dad's children. Somos los hijos. But if I said somos de mi padre, just simply somos de mi padre, it would sound very much like an object, or like more my dad's car, an object. We got to include children to make it sound a little bit humane. Okay. Excelente. Muy bien, muy bien. All right. Perfecto, perfecto. Muy bien. Así que possession. Número 1, tengo un teléfono. Número 2, el teléfono es de Adams, not Adams teléfono. Teléfono de Adams. Número 3, okay? We've got actual possessive adjectives. Yes. And you've used them. You've used them before. But keep in mind, first of all, remember that you will acquire, I'm going to just read the sentence up here. Remember that you will acquire much of this material in time as you listen and read. So a lot of you have already experienced these without knowing it or have articulated it. We've used me. We've used tú. ¿Cómo se llama tu madre? Mi madre se llama Dolores. When's your birthday? Mi cumpleaños es mi cumpleaños. You've used these possessive adjectives. Okay, possessive adjectives can also be indicated by showing possessive adjectives, particularly adjectives depends on the owner. So mi, tú. Here's an example. Mi padre, tu hermana, my father, your sister, nuestra casa, our house. Mi falda. Possessive adjectives in the standard use of possessive adjectives. Yeah, mi casa es su casa. My house is your house, or his or her house. They always go before. Now, there are other ways of doing the possessive, but for this argument's sake, they go before the noun. Mi padre, tu padre, nuestro padre. Mi falda es vieja. My skirt is old. Pero mis zapatos son nuevos, but my shoes are new. So you got all these examples, okay? Muy bien. Vamos a ver qué son, okay? Clase, repiten, por favor. Mi.
Mi.
Perfecto. Tú.
Tú.
Su.
Tú.
Okay. Mis.
Mis.
Tus.
Tus.
Sus.
Tus.
Excelente. Nuestro.
Nuestro.
Vuestro.
Nuestro.
Su.
Tú.
Nuestros.
Nuestros.
Vuestros.
Nuestros.
Sus.
Sus.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. Muy bien, excelente. Okay. Necesito explicar. I need to explain. Necesito explicar un poquito. Necesito explicar un poquito. Mis, my jacket, my coat, mi abrigo. Mis abrigos, my coats, multiple, 2, 3 jackets or coats. Mi abrigo, mis abrigo. It agrees in number. Mi abrigo, mis abrigos, but not in gender. Mi abrigo, mi camisa. Mis abrigos, mis camisas. My. Es fácil. Mi abrigo, mi abrigos. Okay. Tu abrigo, tu camisa. Tus abrigos, tus camisas. Notice how this tu does not have an accent mark, because a tu with an accent mark would be you, not your. This is your. That's the difference between you and your. Tu with an accent mark, tu without an accent mark. Tu abrigo, tu camisa. Tus abrigos, tus camisas. Su. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Su is three possible options. Your, his, her. Your, if you're formally talking to somebody. Hey, Professor Adams, su camisa es bonita. Your shirt is very pretty. Why, thank you. Su camisa es bonita. Su. But it could also mean his or hers. So it's context clues. For example, mi madre es simpática. Su casa está en California. So my mother is nice. Her house, su casa, is in California. Su casa. So it's context clues. I knew it was talking about her because I just mentioned my mom. Question: where do you put usted when using su? Great question. You don't use usted at all. Usted does not mean your. That's a great question. Usted is only for you, like tú with an accent mark. So if I were to say, I could say, you are nice. No, you are, let's go, you are handsome. Guapo. Got it. You are handsome. And then my next sentence is, your shirt is pretty. Su camisa es bonita. Okay, so there are two sentences there. You are handsome. Your shirt is nice. Notice in the second one that I typed in, su camisa es bonita, that's a possessive adjective, your. The first one, usted, is you. So really, and I'm so glad you brought that up. Thank you for bringing that question up. A lot of times students will get very confused with the difference between su and usted. They'll say things like this: oh, your house is large. Usted casa es grande. Usted casa. But what you just said there was, you house is big. Now, I know that people don't mix that up with tu, because tu sounds the same. The only difference is an accent mark, but it sounds exactly the same. So you can say you house or your house, tu casa, and everybody's going to default and think it's your house because they're not going to think about the spelling. So that one's, people don't mess that one up because they're exactly the same, with exception to the accent mark. But with usted and su, those are two different words. So just be careful. Great question. Great question. Okay. Nuestro. Somebody brought that up. I saw it typed in earlier. Nuestro is gender. You've got to make sure it's nuestro, nuestra. That's the only one aside from vuestro, which I'll explain. So we, our house, our shirt, nuestra camisa, nuestra casa, and plural, nuestras camisas, nuestras casas, nuestros abrigos. So nuestro will be gender and number, not just number. And vuestro, that's primarily used in Spain. So I don't want you to have to stress about that, because if I were talking to a group of people and I said, hey, you guys, like I'm talking to you guys in my classroom. Hey, everybody in the class, your grades are good. I would say, sus notas son buenas. Your grades, sus, there's another way of saying grades as well. Sus calificaciones son buenas. And I would use this one, su and sus for your, because we're in Latin America. We're in this side of the world. But if a Spanish professor, somebody out of Spain, were to be talking to their students, they would say, vuestras notas son buenas. Vuestras. And it sounds like a B as in boy, because the V and the B have the same pronunciation. So it's not vuestras, it's vuestras notas, vuestros amigos. But like I said, please don't stress about memorizing that one. You're going to default to su in most cases. So su abrigo, you guys, which would be equivalent to, I'm going to write another sentence in here. I can say, you guys, ustedes son inteligentes, right? And then my next one would be is sus notas son buenas. What I just wrote there is to show you the difference between ustedes and sus. You guys are intelligent. Ustedes son inteligentes. Sus notas son buenas. Your grades are good. Sus notas son buenas. So hopefully that can delineate between su is like his, hers, yours, singular, plural. So just really try not to get that one all messed up in our brains. Okay, muy bien, perfecto. Preguntas. ¿Algunas preguntas? No? Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's clear. ¿Todo bien? Okay. Yo quiero enseñarlos más ejemplos. Got a couple more examples here. A ver. Okay, keep in mind that the pronoun su or sus can be singular, plural, his, hers, theirs. Okay. Camila no vive con sus padres. Camila does not live with her parents. Could I replace that and say they do not live with their parents? Sure. Ellos no viven con sus padres. Can I replace that and say you guys don't live with your parents? Ustedes no viven con sus padres. Absolutely. Now, if we were in Spain, that would sound like this. Vosotros no vivís con vuestros padres. But don't worry about it. That's just for your listening experience, but you don't have to use it. In Spanish, we say los señores if we want to refer to the last names or people that are Mr. and Mrs. This is a really cool thing in Spanish. Look at the example. It explains it right here. Buenos días, señores Acosta. Notice how I'm using señores. Buenos días, señores Acosta. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Acosta. Now I lead the sentence off with los. Los señores Acosta, Mr. and Mrs. Acosta. So I don't have to say el señor y la señora Acosta. It's kind of like abuelo, abuela, abuelos, tío, tía, tíos. I can just say los señores Acosta, but I have to add the los if it's the subject of the sentence. Los señores Acosta van a la fiesta. I can say los señores Adams enseñan in American River College. Los señores García viven en España. Okay, muy bien. Los señores Acosta no tienen su carro. Their, remember, it's context as if it's their, his, or hers. Generally speaking, usted and its possessive pronoun adjective, su, is a formal way of addressing, like sus padres, like the example I showed you. Usted es guapo. Su camisa es bonita. That's very formal. But I'm going to type in the informal version of that. Tú, with an accent mark, eres guapo. Tu camisa es bonita. I want everybody to look at those two examples. Usted es guapo. Su camisa es bonita. You are handsome. Your shirt is pretty. The informal way. Tú eres guapo. There's an accent mark there. Tu camisa es bonita. There's not an accent on that second one. Tu camisa es bonita. One's formal. Señor Piatelli, ¿es usted argentino? Sí. Oh, no. ¿Y sus padres? Are you Argentinian? What about your parents? ¿Y sus padres? Versus Omar, tu amiga es chilena. Pero tú y tus padres, you and your parents, tú y tus padres son ecuatorianos, no? So the difference of formality just adds a little clarification to that. Okay. All right. Nos gusta el perro de. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Amanda. Sí, me gusta tu perro. Qué guapo. Okay. El perro de Amanda. Su perro. The dog of Amanda or her dog, su perro, es muy bonito. Y vamos a practicar. Amanda, ¿cómo se llama tu perro? Unmute. ¿Cómo se llama tu perro?
His name is Jumps.
A ver, un momento.
Se llama
Su
Jump.
nombre
Su
se llama
nombre es Jump.
Jump. Su nombre, his name, su nombre es Jump. Excelente. El perro de Amanda se llama Jump. Muy bien, excelente. Vamos a seguir. Muy bien, excelente. Ok, tenemos algunas opciones. Mi, mis, tú, tus, su, sus, or nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestros. Remember, the nuestro is gender as well. Okay, let's see if we can fill in these blanks together. Okay, Omar, ¿dónde están tus hijos ahora? Where are your children now? ¿Dónde están tus hijos? All right, that's the example that they're giving us. So we got Marita starting it off. Marita dice, Carlitos, esa es mi bicicleta. ¿Dónde está blank bicicleta? ¿Qué palabra es correcta? ¿Qué palabra? ¿Qué palabra? All those options. Oh, wow. Qué rápido. Carter, Chris, Sedita, Shannon, coming out hot. Marisa, excelente. Muy bien. Sí, tú. Hey, Carlitos, that's my bike. Esa es mi bicicleta. ¿Dónde está tu bicicleta? Where's your bike? Y Carlos, what's Carlos say? Blank bicicleta? Hmm? Muy bien. Mi bicicleta está en casa de los abuelos. Ok, número 2. Señoras Piatelli, ¿dónde están blank hijas? ¿Dónde están blank hijas? Ooh, what are we going to write on this one? Okay, hijas is plural, so make sure. Ooh, I've got some tus. I've got some sus. I've even got some sus with a little asterisk on it. Okay, we got a nice array of answers. Well, what is the answer? Here we go. Guess what? It could be both. Now, I'm sure that the grade book or the key, if I were to look up the answer key, it probably would be sus, because it told you when we're dealing with Mr. and Mrs., we are typically going to lean towards the formal way of addressing them. So sus would be correct. However, in some countries, it's very common to default to the informal speech, Spain being one of them. If I were to bump into Mr. and Mrs. and I said, hey, where are your kids? Like I'm at a gathering and we're at like a field trip and I'm their teacher and I walk up to two parents and I say, hey, where are your kids? I would probably use tus and be completely comfortable with that. Now, if they were very much older than me, hey, where are your grandkids? Maybe I would say sus. It'd be more appropriate. So sus is the answer, but depending on the situation, tus can fly. Okay, here we go. Blank hijas, Camila and Antonella están en casa. Ok, muy bien. Mis hijas, Camila y Antonella están en casa. Número 3, Eloy dice, Sebastián, Blank reloj es muy elegante. ¿Es nuevo? Okay, okay, okay. Ya, tu reloj es muy elegante. ¿Es nuevo? Sebastián dice, sí, es nuevo, pero es de Daniel. Blank reloj es muy viejo y feo. Okay. Okay, dos, okay. Dos es no nuestro. Oh my goodness. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm going to go pause. Chris has got a great comment. Chris P. Okay. You know what, Chris? I'm gonna update it. I'm gonna update it because not one person's responding that. You're absolutely correct. Señores Piatelli, ¿dónde están sus hijas? Implies Mr. and Mrs. Patelli, where are your guys' daughters? So technically, it would be our daughters. Absolutely correct. Kudos to Chris for jumping on that one. 100% correct. When I was typing this out earlier, oh, yeah, my kids are the. You're 100% correct. It should be nuestras hijas. Nuestas. In fact, let's go ahead and get out of this. You know how I am. And I'm going to stop sharing and correct it because I can't have that. I can't have it as a nice, just staring me down. Nuestras. Very good catch on that one. See, look at this. Inteligentes. All these. I love it. I love it. During the day with my high school students, I actually have a bag of suckers. I buy big bags of blow pops. And if somebody can catch an error or a typo, they get a treat in the moment. So metaphoric blow pop to you, Chris. Okay, muy bien, excelente. Perfecto, perfecto. Correcting in the moment. Muy bien, excelente. Vamos a volver, chicos. Okay. Nuestras hijas, Camila y Antonella, están en casa. Excelente. Sebastián, tu reloj es muy elegante. ¿Es nuevo? Sí, es nuevo, pero es de Daniel. Mi reloj es muy viejo. Yeah, this watch, it's Daniel's. My watch is kind of ugly and old. Muy bien, excelente. Siguiente, vamos a ver. Número 4. Un amigo de mis padres trabajan en blank jardín. A ver, what do we got going on? Excelente. Excelente. Sí, es nuevo. Ok, mi amigo. Mi amigo. Anybody can get the next one? My friend. Un amigo de mis padres. A friend of my parents works in blank garden. In his. How do I say his? Excelente. Muy bien. There we go. It's chiming in. Good. Su jardín los sábados porque nosotros somos muy perezosos. We are very lazy. Ok. Ángela dice, Claudia, ¿no tienes blank móvil? ¿No tienes blank móvil aquí? Careful, Claudia. Sí, no tienes tu móvil. You don't have your phone here? Do you want to use my phone? ¿Quieres usar mi iPhone? ¿Tienes tu móvil? Claudia dice, gracias, Ángela. Eres muy generosa. Blank móvil está en casa de Eloy. Good call on that. Sometimes people would say, do like your, no, Angela's offering her phone. So Claudia says, yep, mine's at Eloy's house. Good. Mi móvil está en la casa de Eloy. Notice how we're doing two types of possession. My phone is in the house of Eloy, meaning Eloy's house. My phone, house of Eloy. Two types of possession. Mi móvil está en Eloy's casa. No, en casa de Eloy. Excelente. Muy bien. Mírame. Los pies. ¿Te gustan blank zapatos? ¿Te gustan blank nuevos zapatos? What are we going to do on that one? Hey, look at my feet. Do you like my new shoes? Excelente, excelente, Miss. ¿Qué hora es? 7:35. Okay, we're going to have to go a little quicker here. Claudia, me gustan mucho blank ojos. Me gustan mucho. Okay, excelente. Tus ojos. We're going to cruise through the last three here. Cuando necesita más espacio, papá usa el coche de mamá porque blank carro es pequeño. When he needs more space, my dad uses my mom's car because his car, excelente, su carro es pequeño. Franklin, quiero conocer a blank amigos del club. Franklin, quiero conocer a blank amigos del club. I want to know your friends. Careful, it's plural. Muy bien. Tus amigos. Mi hermano menor prefiere jugar conmigo y con blank amigos. Mi hermano menor prefiere jugar conmigo y con. Okay, that's my younger brother. My younger brother. I have Seuss as well, and I'm reading it like this. My younger brother prefers to play with my friends and his friends, but my friends and his friends. Hold on. Mi hermano menor prefiere jugar conmigo. It's got to be my friends because it doesn't make sense. I mean, I read it initially as his friends, but it says, but in the tail end, and we're going to correct this here. Pero a nosotros no nos gusta porque él es muy joven, but we don't like it because he's too young. So my brother wants to play with me and my friends. So I'm going to go ahead and update that because I like to do it in the moment. It makes more sense to go me and my friends, or not me and my friends with me and my friends, because but we don't like it because he's too young. That makes more sense. Okay, perfecto. So we had two little typos tonight. Corrected him in the moment. All right, perfecto. Muy bien, vamos a hablar de la hora. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? Está en casa de los abuelos. Okay, the phrase está en casa de los abuelos, we'd probably want to put a pronoun in front of it. So I'm going to do that just for argument's sake. Ella está, we can use any pronoun really, en casa de los abuelos means she is in her or the grandparents' house, assuming that the grandparents are hers or somebody's grandparents, but it's saying so and so is at the grandparents' house. La casa de los abuelos. Ella está en casa de. ¿Dónde está tu hermana? Oh, está en casa de los abuelos. Now you could say está en casa de mis abuelos. She's at my grandparents' house, or of the grandparents, and just keep it open. Está en casa de los abuelos. Okay, muy bien, excelente. Okay, clase, ¿qué hora es? Son las 3:38. Son las 3:38. ¿Qué hora es literally means what hour is? But we say, what time is it? That word it in English is very confusing sometimes. What time is it? We don't say that. We don't say, ¿Qué hora es lo? Or whatever you want to translate it as. ¿Qué hora es? I would say, instead of saying it is or it's 3:00, we say es or son in this case. Son las tres. Now, the reason why we don't say lo es, it is the verb ser is very unique. If I said the building is tall, it is tall, I wouldn't say lo es alto. I would just say es alto. It is morphed into the verb ser. We don't need to say it. So it is 3. Forget it even exists in Spanish. Is 3, are 3, is 1. That verb said, son las tres. Okay. If it's singular, 1 hour, una, it's es la una. So es la una is the only one that's singular. Son las dos, son las tres, son las cuatro, son las cinco, son las seis, son las siete. ¿Qué hora es? It's 3 o'clock. Son las tres. ¿Qué hora es? It's 5 o'clock. Son las cinco. ¿Qué hora es? It's 9 o'clock. Son las nueve. Son las. Now, if I want to tack on minutes, I just go E and then the number. Es la, it's 3:10. Son las 10, excuse me, son las 3:10. 3:10. Now, if it happens to be 3:35, then you're going to have two E's, but E is part of the 35. So I would say 3:35. Son las 3:y, and then 35. 35, which happens to be 35. Okay. So es la 1:20. It is 1:20. It is 1:20. If I have something that is a quarter or a half hour past, I can literally say 3:15, or 3:15, or 3:30. Could I say the number? I could say 3:15, for example, 3:15, or 3:15. Notice how I have cuarto right here. Use cuarto and media for 15 or a half. Now, right above it, I was almost going to take it out because it's not common in every single country, but I'll show it because there are countries that use it. When I have a certain amount of minutes up until the next hour, if it's past the 30 mark, like let's say it's 10 until the next hour, 4:50. In English, we say 10 till 5, 10 till 5. In Spanish, you would either say 5 minus 10, or we're lacking 10 minutes till 5. So it sounds like this. 5 menos 10. That means 5 o'clock minus 10 minutes, 4:50. 5 menos 10. Or people say faltan. See that word faltan? You can say faltan 10 minutos, 10 minutes, para las 5. And that's the most complicated way of doing it. So I wouldn't stress about that one. Faltan 10 minutos para las 5. It lacks 10 minutes for 5. So we could focus on the latter, the son las 3, son las 4. And if we want to go minus, fine. Son las 3 menos 20. That's 3 minus 20, which means 2:40. Okay. Tengo clase a las 9. When I'm asking what time starts or at what time, it's no longer son las or es las. Es la. What time is it? It's 3. Son las 3. What time is class? Class is at 3. Notice I'm not saying class, it is 3. No, I'm saying class is at 3. Tengo clase a las 3, a las 3:30, a las 3:15, a las 3:23. The concert is at 8. I wouldn't say el concierto es las 8. No, son las 8. El concierto son las 8. No, I say el concierto es a las 8. A las 8. So that's a distinction as far as if I blanketly say what time it is, or at what time is something. Two different thought processes. Okay. Now, just quickly read through this because I want to get to the activity. It's fairly simple once you start using it. Many Hispanic countries use the 24-hour clock to tell time, especially for television programs, especially for airline tickets. So telling time in the United States Air Force using a system noon, 12, like son las 12 horas, 12 hours, 1,300 hours, 1,400 hours, las 14 horas, that does exist. I don't want to stress about that because nobody's going to really use that in day-to-day speech. I have it included in the lessons. You could read that and look at it. Like on the bottom, it says, ¿A qué hora es la película? a las 18:30, that means it's at 6:30 p.m. It literally says 18:30. It's like 1800 hours and 30 minutes. It's military time. This concept does exist in Spanish, but not in day-to-day speech. Nobody's going to say 18:30 in a common day-to-day interaction. Hey, what time's the movie start? 18:30. No, they're going to say 6:30. 6:30. Let's see here. Yeah, same thing. 1300 hours is to 1. Yeah. So Marisa, good call. Yeah. Military hours, you subtract 12. Absolutely. Same thought process applies in Spanish, but I have it here. It's in the lesson because it exists. So don't, if you see your boarding ticket to Mexico and you see, 18:45, you're like, 18:45. What's that all about? Just know that it exists. But in day-to-day speech, you're not going to use it. Okay. Perfecto, perfecto. Vamos a practicar. Vamos a practicar, ¿no? Okay, aquí, primero, ¿qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Ooh, it looks like it's midnight. ¿Qué hora es? For example, es medianoche. That was a trick question. You could have said 12. Sure. Medianoche is middle of the night. Mediodía is middle of the day. Es cero. I like that. That's pretty good, Chris. Es cero. No es cero. Son las 12 or es medianoche. Normally, medianoche sounds better because I don't mess it up with noon, right? Okay. Son las 11 menos 20 de la noche. These are just examples. We'll practice them in just a second. It is 11 minus 20 at night. You notice how it says de la noche? And I'm showing you these examples to point out curiosities. First of all, it's 8 minus 20, so it's 7:40. That's for sure. 7:40. Son las, I'm sorry, not 8. 11. 11 minus 20, so it's 10:40. Not ocho, it's 11. Son las 11 menos 20, 10:40. But the thing that I want to point out is de la noche. De la noche is at night. Now, if I want to say, I do my homework at night, you wouldn't use de la noche. You would use por la noche. Check this out. I'm going to write 2 sentences down. Hago mi tarea por la noche. Okay. Frase número 1. Frase número 2. Hago mi tarea a las 10 de la noche. Anybody see the difference? When I throw a time in there, I change por la noche to de la noche. Hago mi tarea por la noche. I do my homework at night. Hago mi tarea a las 10 de la noche. I do my homework at 10 at night. Big difference. Okay, perfecto. It's a fun fact. Son las 3 menos 25. So 3 minus 25. It must be 2:35. To be honest, I prefer saying 2:35. You can say 2:35, and that's fine. You could say son las 2:35. 2:35. Son las 7:06. 7:06. Very common. Es la 1:30. Even though there are minutes attached to that 1 hour, it's still 1 hour. So it's es. Es la 1:30. 1:10 es la 1:10. 1:20 es la 1:20. 1:40, I can say es la 1:40, or bump it to the next hour and go minus, but then I'd have to change it to son. Son las 2 menos 20. All right. And I know I'm kind of rushing through this because of time, but you can always go back and rewatch this little brief explanation. Okay. Es mediodía. So medianoche, mediodía, middle of the night, middle of the day. Medianoche, notice it says media because it's la noche, medio because it's el día, little curiosity thing there. Media, medio, media, medio. Es medianoche, es mediodía because día is actually masculine. El día, very cool fact. Son las 11:15 de la mañana, 11:15 or 11:15. Could I say son las 11:15? Absolutely. I can totally say that. De la mañana, because it's a time in front of it, not por la mañana. Okay, excelente. Es la 1:15 de la tarde, not por la tarde, de la tarde, because there's just time in front of it. Okay. Son las 10 menos 10. So 10 minus 10, it must be 9:50. All right. Perfecto. Vamos ahora a practicar. I want you to type in the time. ¿Qué hora es? Número uno. Type it out. Let's do this. Vamos. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Doing good on time here. Perfecto, perfecto. You guys are doing a great job keeping up. Appreciate it. Okay, we got some answers coming in. Son las 4:20. Son las 4:20. Perfecto, son las 4:20. Excelente clase. Número 2. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Okay. Good, excelente. Excelente. Muy bien. Okay. Okay. Son las 6:15. Now, could I do 15? Sure. I got two of them. Son las 6:15, 6:15. I think cuarto is probably going to be used more often. Son las 6:15. Excelente. Número 3. ¿Qué hora es? You guys are quick. Excelente. Son las 8:13. Perfecto. Número 4. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Número 4. Don't fall into a habit on this one. Marisa. We got to change that verb a little bit. Oh, there we go, Chris P. There we go. Excelente. Excelente. Okay, muy bien. Careful the spelling, Carter. Excuse me. Es la 1:10. Es la 1:10. Que excelente, excelente, Carter. Muy bien. Número 5. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Número 5. Good. Excelente. Excelente, excelente. Perfecto, perfecto, perfecto. Ok. Muy bien. Son las 7:07. Son las 7:07. Número 6. Número 6. Good. Excelente. Wow, you guys are fast. Excelente. Careful how to spell that 30. Now, you can say media, sure. 30 is fine and media is fine. Son las 5:30. Son las 5:30. Okay. Número 7. ¿Qué hora es? Technically, there are 3 ways of doing this one, but I only wrote down one way, but I'll tell you all 3 of them. Okay, excelente. Okay, muy bien. I prefer what you guys are doing, by the way. Okay, good, excelente. I would probably say this more often than none. Son las 3:35. Now, the E and the E, this 35 is 35. This E right here is the little 2 dots. Son las 3:35. Now, could I have said son las 4:25? Sure. Could I have said faltan 25 minutos para las 4? Sure. That's the more complex way, but all 3 options. I like the first one. Okay, número 8. I have decided to write in all 3 options just for shits and giggles. A ver, vamos. You can type in whichever one you want. A ver, a ver, a ver. Good, excelente. Good, excelente. That's valid, that's valid. Excelente, muy bien. Muy bien. Okay. Okay. 3 maneras, 3 posibilidades, 3 posibilidades. Es la 1:49. That's the standard, 1:49. Es la 1:49. Then you have son las 2 menos 11. You have it's 2 minus 11. Or faltan 11 minutos para las 2. Lacks 11 minutes for 2. So all three options right there. Número 9. Número 9. Son las 12:30. Ok, wow, qué rápido. Ok, perfecto, perfecto. ¿Son las 12:30 o son las 12:30? What about número 10? Vamos, número 10. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Qué excelente. Son las 12:15. Ok. Good. Son las 5:15 o 5:15. Ok. 5 minutos más. Faltan 5 minutos. We're 5 minutes left to go. Quickly, las estaciones. Now, we're going to go much more into detail next week, but I wanted to throw them out there because they might pop up in some vocabulary this week. Las estaciones del año. Tenemos el invierno, winter, invierno, otoño, fall, otoño, la primavera, spring, la primavera, verano, el verano, el verano. Las 4 estaciones del año. Okay. ¿Qué tiempo hace? I'm going to expose you to some really cool vocabulary with weather. We use the expression hace, meaning it makes cold. Hace frío. Sí, excelente, Amanda. Es invierno y hace frío. It makes a lot of cold. Translation, it's cold. In English, we say it is cold outside. Hace frío. Hace fresco. It's cool outside. Hace fresco. Hace calor. It's hot. Hace mucho calor. It's very hot. Now keep in mind, you're not saying it is hot in Spanish. You're saying it makes a lot of heat. Es verano y hace mucho calor. Es otoño y hace viento. So it's autumn or fall and it's windy. It makes a lot of wind. Okay. También tenemos hace mal tiempo. Hace mal tiempo. It's bad weather, like raining, cold, miserable outside. So whatever
I
you
have a
define.
question.
Yeah, yes, question.
So in this example, tiempo would not mean time.
Correct. Tiempo means 3 things. You can say tiempo, like time. Do you have time to talk to me? ¿Tienes tiempo para hablar conmigo? ¿Tienes tiempo? You have time to talk about weather. Hace mal tiempo. Like in the question, ¿qué tiempo hace? Right above here. ¿Qué tiempo hace literally translates to what does the weather make? What does the weather make? And third way, let's see here. How can I use tiempo, tiempo, tiempo? Third way. There's a third way. Hold on. Tiempo, time. ¿Tienes tiempo? No tengo tiempo. I don't have time. Well, yeah, that also means time. Yeah, but time as far as time, awesome. I don't have time to talk to you. No tengo tiempo. But tiempo is the standard word for weather. If you look on the news and you see a weather forecast, it's called el pronóstico del tiempo. El pronóstico del tiempo. So right now we have hace mal tiempo. It's bad weather. We also have hace buen tiempo. It's good weather. In this case, hace sol. It's sunny. In my mind, that's good weather. Now, all 6 of those patterns, 7 if you include the last 2, take hace frío, hace fresco, hace calor, hace viento, hace mal tiempo, hace buen tiempo, hace sol. The last 3 don't. So be careful. Está nublado. I cannot say hace nublado. This literally means it is cloudy. Está nublado. The word está and nublado. So you have to memorize those. Now, the next 2 are verb conjugations. Llueve comes from the verb llover. Llueve. It's literally saying rains. It rains. So it's only one word, llueve. Now, could I say it is raining like right now? Sure, but that's a different structure. But for now, I can say, hey, you know what? Tomorrow it's going to rain. Mañana llueve. Mañana llueve. Okay. or llueve mucho in Costa Rica. Llueve mucho en Costa Rica. Okay, I mentioned that because me is in Costa Rica. Llueve mucho en Costa Rica. Of course, not during this time period, but okay. And then the last one, nieva. The word is from nevar, to snow. Nieva, and it ends in an A. So llueve, nieva. It snows every winter. Nieva cada invierno. Nieva cada invierno. Okay. All right. Now, we technically don't have time for this. Normally, at the end of every lesson, I try to squeeze in 10 minutes to read a little bit. I'm going to postpone this reading for next week, but I'm recording this lesson now. So if you'd like to, or it's in the book as well. I forget what page it's on, but it's in the book somewhere. In the book, you guys can look it up. We'll try to squeeze this in next week, if not our review week. I want to read about this because it's very fascinating how the different hemispheres, north and south, this article talks about how the winter patterns are. Wow, how did you do that? That was very cool. That smiley face that somebody just drew. You're gonna have to share that with me on how you just did that. This talks about how in Chile right now, they are finishing their summer months and they're going into their winter months. We are finishing our winter and about to go into our summer. So it's just the opposite because of the hemispheres. And this article talks about it, and it's very simple language, and it practices some of our vocabulary. And I really want to read it. But if you can't read it on your own, go ahead and open this video up, pause it right now, and then, at your own time, and then read it and see if you can understand it yourself. Maybe you can do that, read it before next week, and then you'll be that much prepared as we go into it. Let's see here. There's a little green pencil icon on the bottom of the corner. I did not know it. Oops. No, I love the fact that you can do that. So thank you for sharing that with me. That's very positive. Okay. One last thing to keep in mind before we go. I always like to remind you, read, listen. Always try to write, read, and listen on a daily basis outside of what you do for this class, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a daily journal to practice vocabulary, but try to have that mass amount of information constantly on a day-to-day basis. And ya terminamos. Muchas gracias.